My name is Panam Tui.
Panam 2.
Yeah.
Okay, counsel to.
Counsel to the plaintiffs,
Okay,
first and second plaintiffs.
All right, tell us what happened.
Sometime in April this year, we brought an application before this honorable court, to enforce the judgment of the Supreme Court, which was delivered on October 14th and amended October 14th, 2021, and then amended by slip of tongue or slip of error on March 24th, 2023. So the first defendant being Chief Victor Ikeoye and INEC being the second defendant, first defendant put in appearance, second defendant INEC, the place gods refused to put in appearance. Maybe they have nothing to lose. So the first defendant brought a preliminary objection before this court and stated that our actions or application amounted to abuse of court processes, wherein after a federal high court had already given judgment with respect to the same subject matter. But such submission were laughable because we were only trying to give effect to the judgment of the Supreme Court. Yeah, so we, in aside to that, they brought other issues that it has become an academic exercise since the tenure of office has already elapsed. But what they failed to know was that using our vermin, we said they were elected. We didn't say they were inducted or sworn in on that particular day. Many a times people are elected, but not most times you are not sworn in the same day. And the tenure of office of the first and second defendant is supposed to come up on the 7th, which is tomorrow. The defendant had tried to seek for adjournment, done different legal maneuverabilities to make sure that the court does not hear this thing, knowing quite well that the truth will be clear in any case. They tried to seek adjournment in the last adjourned date to push the matter to tomorrow being 7. So when we objected, they now brought the issue of academic exercise. But the court, in its infinite wisdom, applied extra wisdom, to be able to listen to the issues brought before the court. So today we are having another victory for democracy to prove and let people know that when people arrogate so much of ludicrous, contentious and, invidious subrogacies of democratism to themselves, the law will always stand its cause. Because today the court has given effect to the judgment of the Supreme Court. Because the Constitution, by provisions of Section 281 sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, has clearly stated that all courts of the land must are mandated to give force to the judgment of the Supreme Court. And that's all what we ask. What did the Supreme Court do? In the judgment of 2021, the Supreme Court said that those issues were non-justiciable, and that from the matter that were brought to Jigawa High Court, to the Court of Appeal, Kano Division, up to the Supreme Court, were non-justiciable, and that they should return back to status quo. What was the status quo? Chief Edozie Njoku was the national chairman before he was purportedly suspended by his own ESCO member. Mark you, the action was brought by his ESCO members, the first vice chairman North and first vice chairman South, in struggle for the office of acting national chairman, which effect was given to Jigawa Court, and even INEC recognized one of the vice chairmen to be acting as the APGA national chairman. So at the end of the day, after the Supreme Court, just because the Supreme Court said that the name should be, that the issue should be, they should return to status quo, and then mistakenly inserted the name of Chief Victor Ikeoye, they took advantage of that window and started acting. And we went back to Supreme Court. They were well represented by their counsel, Chief Ikpeazu and Ikweto SN only in the argument. And the Supreme Court stated clearly that it was an error. An accidental error can be corrected by the Supreme Court rules, Rule 816, in any case, which was invoked and corrected. And the Supreme Court stated clearly, even very harshly, that I haven't seen these issues, that the name Victor Ikeoye is hereby deleted from the judgment of the Supreme Court. and the name of Chief Edozie Njoku inserted as the national chairman. Every civilized society, that should be the end of this judgment. But because of desperation and unbridled quest for power, some element who felt they are backed by certain authorities or powers, be they governors or whatever they call themselves, went ahead and kept violating the orders of the court. Even before this court, this very court asked all parties to maintain the status quo ante bellum. They went ahead, ignored the court order, went ahead to hold congresses from ward to chapter to national congresses. We're glad that today, another victory for democracy. I mean, the court has stated expressly, unequivocally, without any iota of fear of contradiction, that all the acts carried or done by them, the first and second respondent, are of no issue. So all those conventions that have been held from what to the national, regrettable as it is, causing people pain, suffering, and all uncertainty and tension, are nullified automatically. Yes, that is what the law, the court just stated now.
My name is Victor Agunzi.
Okay, just tell us what happened.
Well, what happened today is nothing serious at all. The judgment that was delivered by Justice M.A. Madu of the FCT High Court Buhari on an issue that borders on Victor Oye. It's a suit that was filed against Victor Oye without joining APGA in the suit. They joined the INEC and they sought for interpretation of the judgment of the Supreme Court. So the court delivered this judgment, surprisingly, on whether Victor Oye can conduct the congresses of APGA. But funny enough, it is not Victor Oye that conducts the congresses of APGA, because Victor Oye was sued as Victor Oye, but not as the chairman of APGA. And APGA was not joined in the suit. It is APGA that conducts the world and state congresses and the national congresses. And APGA was not joined in the suit. And the law is right. You cannot shave a man's head behind him. No, what we sought for an adjournment to enable the court take judicial notice of the judgment of the Court of Appeal that was decided, that was delivered on the 2nd of June, on Friday, 2nd of June.
So what is your position on this judgment?
No, our position on this judgment that it is neither here nor there. Because the court held that Victor Oye should not parade himself as the national chairman of APGA, but it's laughable. You cannot restrain a man who has finished his tenure. As of today, as we speak, he is no longer the chairman of APGA. He has since handed over the reins of power to the validly elected national chairman. So you cannot begin to talk about him parading. As it is today, he is not parading, he is not the chairman of APGA. So the judgment is neither here nor there. No, of course, naturally, we should be able to bring up an appeal so that the impression that may be created by this judgment will be corrected. But I tell you that this is a judgment that cannot stand the test of time. It is a judgment that is delivered without jurisdiction. It is a judgment that was delivered in violation of the doctrine of stare decisis. The court is bound to have followed the decision of the Court of Appeal, which had authenticated the leadership of Dr. Victor Oye as the chairman of APGA. So it's surprising that you see an inferior court that ought to be bound by the decision of the Court of Appeal would make this kind of decisions. But good a thing, the judgment does not bind APGA, because APGA is not a party. And the congresses that were conducted by APGA. Thank you very much. My name is Victor Agunzi.
Well, what I'll say is wow. Everybody has been going on that the Supreme Court judgment does not have an enforcement. Today, the court has said they're not going to go into interpretation of the Supreme Court judgment because it's on treacherous waters. But looked at the Supreme Court and they're there and they've given all those enforcements to the judgment that the Supreme Court has given since, when was that, 14th of October 2021, and finally made an amendment on March 24th. But everybody has ignored it. But today, what I want to say first is that sometimes it's always good to be patient, and everybody here will know I'm patient. This is the same court, the same judge that put me away for 2 days, that Oye them and the police put some false charges on me that I went and forged the Supreme Court judgment. And today, that same judge has given effect, given life to that Supreme Court judgment by telling us that it is, that no one should even come near interpreting a Supreme Court judgment, that it is treacherous waters. I'm a bit taken aback. But I thank God, I thank APGA members. He also told us that he has everything to do with the convention that Oye purportedly said he did has been annulled and cancelled. Anything he has done has been annulled. And, we are patient people. On the 5th of May, we wrote INEC through a recorded delivery on our extension of time by virtue of our constitution. We got a 1-year extension of time. And in that 1-year extension of time, now we're going to take the time and organize a proper congress and conventions between now and the end of the 1 year and get the party back on a good footing. God works mysteriously. He has used the same Magudu he wanted to use to send me to jail with a lie, and it's real poetic justice. That same Magudu is the one who has now told them everything they have done, particularly the congresses, particularly the convention. And if they went and got a court judgment saying that they must do their convention before the 31st of May 2023, which now is all been annulled. Oye has gone. So APGA must be very, very careful. APGA as a whole must be very, very careful, because nothing else can come out of that Owerri, that Oka side, because everything they've done as convention has been annulled. There was an injunction already on them doing any convention or congresses. So all those illegal actions have been brought to nothing. So APGA members must queue behind gently for us to organize proper congresses, and a proper convention. We don't even start talking about convention. Let's talk about the congresses first. So we elect our ward chairman, elect our local government chairman, elect our state executive, elect delegates who are now going to go within this year and organize a proper convention of APGA. Everything to do with that Oye side died the very day they did their congresses with an injunction on them. We are not a lawless society. We are not a lawless, no matter how much power they think they have. We are not lawless. And I'm so grateful that it's this same court that I went to jail in Suleja for 2 days by this same judge. So looking at him now saying what he has said, reading his judgment, is very pleasing. It makes us in Nigeria to be a little bit more patient. You must have 5 years I've been on this, and I've told them that it doesn't work that way. We need to exercise more patience. We're dealing with people who think that they own the country. They can do whatever they want to do. There are also a lot of orders on Mahmoud of INEC. Everybody needs to take this very, very careful, and also understand that I'm not one of those that you will just push aside. I will follow everything logically, legitimately, till it comes to a perfect conclusion. And I thank APGA members again for the wisdom they had in our next meeting to agree that we go to give us an extension of 1 year and all the executives. Bear with us. Within that 1 year, we will produce you your ward chairman, your local government chairman, your state executive, and also a proper national convention.
Are you calling on other parties to be part of this whole movement?
Which is, what do you mean? APGA by virtue, I've always said we don't have, even if Oye wants to be involved with us, nobody will be stronger than Oye in Amobia or in that area. There are strong people in Anambra. In that his constituency, I wish he would sit down and we decide how we build APGA to become a stronger party. I've always said that. I don't have any problem with him. And he has gone now. He has gone peacefully. But luckily, there's nothing that can bring him back because that tenure is over. He can't come back to do any other congress or convention. So they are in a quagmire, a complete quagmire.